Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're going to talk about this article written from Cointelegraph. BlackRock's Larry Fink says he was wrong, calls Bitcoin digital gold. Wow. Isn't it great when you see these staunch advocates, these individuals who drop a lot of criticism on Bitcoin in the very beginning, saying it's used for illicit crime activity, saying that it's a fraud, saying that it's not a tangible asset, that it's not going to be used for anything but for crime. And then all of a sudden the light switches on, and then they turn over and say they was wrong, they was incorrect. Now they see the light. Now they got a new idea about what Bitcoin really is. Congratulations to you who were already in position, who saw the benefits of Bitcoin before these people. Like, you got people like Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, which has about $10.6 trillion of assets under that company that they manage. Congratulate yourself because you saw the vision before he did. Think about it. You have this one man who sits high on this particular company, BlackRock, and he still didn't see the value of Bitcoin. But now he does. So for you who saw it way before he did, maybe you might be smarter than he is. So don't ever shortchange yourself when you see people like him, who is a billionaire, who controls trillions of dollars of the world's money supply, and he didn't get it. You also are valuable. Just because he sits in a position that controls what the world terms as valuable, i.e. fiat currency, doesn't mean that he's any better than you. Especially if you hold this once cryptocurrency that he said was used for crime. Now he's running in trying to buy all of this Bitcoin, but you was already there. BlackRock, the world's biggest hedge fund, currently has $10.6 trillion in assets under management and the largest Bitcoin investment fund. Look at that. Look at how fast BlackRock came in and swooped in and tried to buy up some Bitcoin. Something is about to go down because you don't have this company with trillions of dollars of assets to all of a sudden be the largest Bitcoin investment fund. What do you think he's up to? Now, he's not going to come out on CNBC. He's not going to do a podcast and say, this is what we're trying to do. Pay attention to the actions that he's doing. So by him saying, I now see Bitcoin as digital gold, apparently, from my some summation, is he's trying to hedge. Yeah. He's trying to hedge all of that trillions of dollars of fiat currency that this man has, that he has to control. He has to ensure that when the economy collapses, whether it's a recession or a depression, that the money that he has, that he manages, that the people will be saved somewhat. So why not buy gold? Why not? Because it's too hard to manage, especially physically, especially when you got $10.6 trillion of assets. It'll be impossible for you to go out and buy gold and then store it. Imagine the facility that will have to hold that amount of gold to ensure that it's hedged, that $10.6 trillion is hedged. So he's like, let me take Bitcoin. That's why he's calling it digital gold. It's because he can actually hedge $10.6 trillion more effectively and efficiently than actually going out and buying physical gold. Pay attention. That is what's going on right now with Larry Fink and his business BlackRock. I think he understands that the economy is on stilts and is wobbling and is due to come off of his perch and fall. So he's trying to get prepared. That's why they all of a sudden are now the largest Bitcoin investment fund. During a recent CNBC interview, the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, said he was wrong about Bitcoin before calling the decentralized asset digital gold and a legitimate financial instrument. Now, just because he says is legitimate, does that give Bitcoin more credibility? Like, this is what decentralization is all about. Because you still got people who sits on Congress and saying that it's illegitimate, that it's not real. So you get this one business who has $10.6 trillion of voice power now calling Bitcoin legitimate. Make it make sense. His voice carries weight. So you don't think the people in Congress is not paying attention to what he just said about Bitcoin? And now you have Trump trying to be a staunch advocate for cryptocurrency. Pay attention. The waves are already in motion for cryptocurrency to be a permanent fixture in your daily lives. That's why BlackRock's is out tokenizing actual real world assets, because it's going to give an enlarged pool of investors, not just within the United States. We're talking globally. Yeah. Globally. You can have people in China, Russia, India, South America, Europe. It doesn't even matter, anywhere on the globe, who will have the ability to invest in BlackRock's investable products. That's what they're preparing for. That's what I think they're trying to do. That's going to be the next way, the next market to ensure that the economy is able to grow. Not just within the confinements of the United States. The head of the $10.6 trillion asset management firm told CNBC Jim Cramer, "I was a skeptic, a proud skeptic, proud, before studying the nascent asset and changing his mind about Bitcoin. It is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to maybe have uncorrelated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though." Well, if what he has just done with BlackRock creating their Bitcoin spot ETF and now becoming the largest Bitcoin investment fund, he must be really frightened then. It is an instrument when you believe countries are debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. So he's actually telling you what he is doing right now. He's hedging between these other currencies of the world, debasing their currency, meaning devaluing. Think then touch on the deteriorating economic and political situation in some countries and the potential for Bitcoin to give individuals in those societies an option of investing in something beyond their geographies. Boom. So he's going to create a fund that these other societies, these other countries will be able to invest in. In May, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust overtook Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as the world's largest Bitcoin exchange traded investment fund, with year-to-date inflows topping $18 billion. He has a long way to go to try to secure $10.6 trillion that he has under management. But yeah, the transition is going on now. So you can continue to follow people who think that tangible gold is the way to go. It may be. Who knows? Or you can do both. You can hedge with physical gold as well as with Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is going to be leaps and bounds above physical gold, especially when the top topples over with the economy, especially within the global economy. But I do think both will still continue to trend to the upside in price, though. All right, so give me your thoughts about that. But here's Bitcoin right here. Let's go ahead and talk about the recent price action in Bitcoin. I'm not sure when was the last time I did a price prediction, but you guys can see we did identify this buy zone right here. So price in Bitcoin over the last couple of days did come down to this buy zone. It cracked it a little bit right there on July the 5th. And then again here on July the 8th. But overall, that market still wants to be higher. It wants to go up. So I'm going to fix this real quick, because I'm going to keep that. Let's put that right back. Okay. So this is the current range that we're going to suspect Bitcoin to consolidate. Now I'm going to clean it up. Let me get rid of these buy zones here. Okay, we're just going to test those two. And we're going to keep that sell zone up there at the top, because that is still applicable. We're going to extend the overall trend. And if we see the price in Bitcoin continue to trade like this in between these ranges, then that lets us know that BlackRock, all these other financial institutions, that they are buying up this Bitcoin because they're suspecting that longer term, the value of Bitcoin is going to break above this all-time high. Now, if we see this though, the market of Bitcoin kind of straggle, meander, begin to get weaker and weaker, then you could expect that it's going to come back down to 40,000 and then try to another ascension. All right. So now let's look at this on the weekly chart, because last week was great. Very, very good. We saw on the week of July the 1st weakness, but we didn't get that continuation on the next week, July the 8th. You guys can see the market came right back up. Who knows? Maybe Larry Fink opened up his checkbook and said, let me get some more of that Bitcoin at 55 grand. Here it is on the 2 weeks. You can even see here that those buyers enter the market in Bitcoin. Okay. So if anything, we are seeing a reprieve. I want to see in the next 12 days and 13 hours, I want to see Bitcoin actually come all the way back up to the prior 3 weekly high. That will even be more confirmation that these buyers are determined to continue to keep this price up rather than fall. Okay, so real quick, I am going to suspect, if anything, I'm not going to be drastically bullish, but I am going to look for price to trend up. Okay, so I'm not going to be drastically bullish though. Let me go ahead and create a lower term sell zone real quick. We're going to do one right here. Okay, so let me put this back on the daily real quick. So we got these two targets. It could really be up there around 68 for Bitcoin. So these are my two targets right here, these sell zones. The first one, and then the second one up there at the highs. But yeah, Larry Fink, BlackRock, all these other financial institutions, they are literally telling you what they're doing. You just got to pay attention to the actions that they say and try to keep your ear to the streets, i.e. social media, to see what they're talking about. But yeah, go ahead and give me your thoughts about Bitcoin. What are you doing in your particular situation? Your financial situation? Are you preparing for what's to come on the horizon? Because Larry Fink clearly is. Give me your thoughts. Make sure you maintain your profitability. And as always, trade different.